in about 5 minutes. But, Alex, this is so insidious. And one name I have to say it because I am just burning up. It is, many of us know him as Bill Gates. Bill Gates now is on public record funding geoengineering programs. Geoengineering programs destroys our soil and makes it impossible for people to grow natural organic foods. Bill Gates also invests in Monsanto. He is making not only a ton of money, what they're doing is attempting to usurp the authority of God or the authority of nature.
That's right. They are playing God, creating a monopoly, use food as a weapon. State Department Memorandum 200 is their licensure to engage in this, and the magnitude of this is so huge. What I want to do is I want to get you on next week when you can do Skype, because this interview crept up on me anyways. I watched your film last week and was blown away by it. I think it's probably even better than the last one. It's more hardcore, because I knew the stuff that's in this film when you made the last one. You guys just kind of ease into it. This stuff's really hiding in plain view. What you're saying is not your opinion. He's getting taxpayer money to then go spray the United States and play God. They're doing it in other parts of the world. The film in hard copy is available at InfoWarsStore.com or InfoWarsShop.com, or linked through at Infowars.com. But you guys know there's no future if we don't beat them. That's why you put the film out for free on YouTube this weekend, and you can just go. In fact, I'm going to have Don, one of our writers and web guys, because it was up over the weekend. I'll have him repost it as the top story right now here in the next 5 minutes. Yeah, just ask Don to repost what in the world or why in the world are they spraying the new one up on Infowars.com. It was already on the front page Saturday and Sunday. I want to have it the top story right now so everybody can get it for free. And then if you think it's important and want to have a hard copy they can't remove off YouTube, be sure and download it off there and keep it, but also get the high-quality DVD. It's a very powerful film, and again, let's do an hour. Let's do an hour and a half, since I'm cutting you short here because of problems, because I really want people to hear this in clarity. And you should give us like 10 exhibits. Maybe tell one of the guys, send maybe Rob Dew or, the head of the Nightly News, a clip sheet off what we ought to grab out that you want to mention. And we'll play clips on the air of it. I think that's really the way to cover this, because I don't want to just talk about this and we kind of move on. This is really happening. And just like they're putting all the cancer viruses and the vaccines and the GMOs changing our gut flora, Bill Gates is all invested in that. This is the total globalist program. And at every level, they're invested in it. They're doing it not just to make money, but to take over. So thank you so much for spending time with us. Michael Murphy, why in the world are they spraying? Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Alex, appreciate everything you're doing. Thank you so much. We love you. Keep up the great work, and I look forward to expanding on a lot of these issues next week.
Yeah, you bet. I mean, you travel around. You guys are always traveling around. You want to come to Austin? You going to fly out here? I can't afford to pay for the ticket.
You know what? If we could get a screening, because we encourage, I do a couple of things. We encourage people around the world to do screenings, and I'd love to speak at a screening. We also, because the DVD's available for free, we encourage people to make copies and hand out for free. We're here in Sacramento at the Capitol today. We just released the film. We've got over 100 free DVDs. We're bringing them to our state legislators. So if we can plan some activism into this event, I would love to come out.
Sure. Well, just if you're ever in Austin, come in the studio. But we'll just video Skype when you get to a place with good internet and a good computer. We'll test it the day before, and then we'll get you on. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, let's jam in some phone calls here, and then we'll come back from break and hit the news. Just a whole bunch of it here. I haven't even really talked about Homeland Security spying on Infowars.com. I woke up Saturday morning and saw news headlines, not on my website, other places, where one of our listeners did a FOIA request and found Homeland Security threat fusion centers watching Infowars.com. Well, really, that's a no-brainer. But you just get a mindset into, what does the V for victory mean? Well, is he going to attack us? And then they sit there and say, he claims it was used by the French resistance. I don't claim anything. And it's just, it's written in like a 5-year-old level. And, you know, he claims there's a global government. Really, I claim it? I mean, I don't know what to say anymore. But I wish you guys would watch the government white slavery rings and stop that. And then I always get idiot comments going, what about black slaves? Or white slavery means sex slavery, folks. It has nothing to do with skin color. This former Marine was picked up by the feds over Facebook post about 911. And there he is. Family shot video of it. They took him to the mental institution because he said 9/11 was an inside job and that a revolution was coming. What, are you going to arrest the Queen's Reich? Because they have a song, Revolution Coming, Revolution Coming. But they got him in the mental institution now, like the old Soviet Union. That's Business Insider. Anyways, I always say I'm going to go to your calls and I start covering the news right away. Let's talk to Real Caged. You're on the air. Welcome. What's on your mind today?
Answering the question that was posed by the documentary, you have to have an understanding of the term scorched earth. Scorched earth is an umbrella policy which contains geoengineering, 9/11, globalism in general, genetic mutation, Monsanto. And what all these have in common is the fact that they're all biblical in nature.
No, that's right. And I mean, just to back you up, it's called full spectrum dominance or full spectrum scorched earth. The globalists call it that. They are attacking us, poisoning us, while giving themselves treatments and cures, and then posing as the saviors, consolidating the economy as they herd us. It's kind of like ancient man chasing after woolly mammoths and running them off a cliff through fear. They're running us off the cliff so they can societally pick our bones. And they are murdering all of us. Yes, go ahead.
You spoke earlier also of Paul Ryan in a semi-positive light. Now, knowing all that we know, okay, I want to give you the opportunity to substantiate your comments based on his abortion rhetoric and his pro-gun rhetoric. You followed later speaking that you're not going to hold back anymore. And in my opinion, that if you choose between Baal and Moloch, you're still part of the 9/11 beast. So go ahead. I'll let you take it from there.
Listen, hold on, because I specifically want to hear what you have to say on this subject. I'm saying that I was actually looking at it from the perspective of what does it mean, not supporting anybody, but what does it mean that they're getting ready to throw Obama under the bus politically? That's because he's already gotten as much as he can in a power grab for the globalists, and now they want to act like all the bad was Obama so that the anger dissipates. So I was saying if Obama stayed in, you'd probably see the New World Order thrown out because it would be so over the top. The system wants to put a Romney in because people will go back to sleep. I was simply saying, what do you do morally when I could say the difference between Romney and Obama is basically nothing? With Paul Ryan, I mean, he has been anti-abortion and he has been pro-gun at a time that other Republican leaders are calling for gun restrictions. So I'm saying, what is your view of that? I mean, I was actually throwing that out for callers.
My view is that having an understanding of the things we talk about, we have to come to a consensus that there is no lesser of two evils. We have to stand for what we believe in, talk about it every day. Quit talking about these non-issues. We know Ryan Romney is a non-issue. We know Obama what he is. We have to look to the future, and I believe that without Jesus Christ and us having faith in Jesus Christ, there is no other outlet to survival.
No, listen, I agree with you, and I appreciate your call. I mean, I don't know what else I can say. The problem is finding Jesus, because you don't find him in these devil churches that are 501c3 government run, telling you each week to worship government and do whatever it says, and actually bad-mouthing the Christians in Rome who got thrown to the lions. I mean, they teach that on TV now. So I can't sit here and say, Jesus is going to save you, because people will just go run to the churches that are literally run by the New World Order. So I have to qualify it when I talk about it. You know, in the Bible, clearly, I'm not going to start preaching here, but this is key. Jesus says when they say, hey, you know, God gave us the understanding that you're his son. He says, I'll build my foundation, my keel on this, that God, Jesus is in you, not through some preacher. Well, they spin it and then say, oh no, the rock is built on Peter, so that the church can put itself between you and God, just like the Pharisees did, and you're back to square one.
The worst drought in 50 years continues.
Yeah, well, don't say that. If you're a former Marine, he said 9/11 was an inside job, that a revolution was coming. They came and grabbed him. It's a pretty big national story. They took him directly to John Randolph Psychiatric Hospital in Hopewell, Virginia. As everybody knows, the government never stages a terror attack. They need to arrest the London Guardian writers who were reporting on declassified false flag attack plans. Maybe arrest anybody who doesn't love their government and take all their shots. You know, I get what the last caller was discussing. I mean, there's geoengineering going on. They're poisoning the food and the water. They're giving us GMO that sterilizes all the rodents they feed it to. Every disease is skyrocketing. We're being killed, and we're discussing Paul Ryan, Mitt Romney. Yeah, exactly. Paul Ryan, Mitt Romney, I'll guarantee you, don't even know about the whole agenda. They won't even be told about it until they're actually sworn in. But it's so massive that all of this really is window dressing. But, you know, I do talk about some parochial issues because general talk radio listeners on XM and over 100 stations, and they're not going to fully, you know, every day just talk about the chemtrails and the cancer viruses and the... Again, if I'm guilty of anything, it's holding back. I mean, I'll be honest with you. People think I'm exaggerating or fear-mongering. They have no idea. I mean, it's the globalists. That's why they leave me on air, is because they've got a giant program that they're killing us. It's all under national security, and it's just off the chart. It's like it's all rearranging deck chairs. They're so committed. They're underground bases. They're COG. The public's so dumbed down. I mean, and it's not like I even consciously hold back. It's how do you sit here and hammer the full magnitude of this? That's why it's so stupid when a cop pulls you over and says, mind if I search the car for guns or drugs? First thing I say is, well, you know full well guns aren't illegal in Texas. And you know full well you just ran my license plate while I sat here for 5 minutes. And number two, I don't use products shipped in by the government. In fact, I meant to play a little G.I. Joe clip, the old G.I. Joe intro, where it's like fighting Cobra who wants global domination. Cobra is who might as well run our government. And all the weird stuff, I remember that cartoon as a kid that Cobra was doing is actually what the globalists are doing. And I realized it's all was predictive programming, just to condition us so that people's brains had already been accustomed to something so you'd be acclimated to it when it happened. And people who don't understand propaganda would say, well, but Cobra's in a bad light. It doesn't matter. Even if something's shown to you in a bad light, when it really happens 30 years later, you are more comfortable with it and your mind expected it to come. It's like making a friend of death. You're not as afraid of it. Well, the shoe goes the other way, you know, the other foot, where they can bombard us with bad things in an entertainment light, and then people can't respond to it when it really happens. It's like violence on TV desensitizes people where they don't care anymore. They can watch their neighbor hit by a car, bleed to death for 30 minutes, and, oh, they don't want to miss the gym. They'll let somebody else take care of Ralph out there bleeding to death. And we're in a trance. We're in a Matrix science fiction movie. I mean, we're not in pods. The programming's through our eyes into our brain, giving us a false reality, though. I mean, yeah, it's Matrix level. I don't know what you say to a Matrix. That's why I'm not even worried about them killing me. Because it's so beyond that. It's so surreal how crazy reality really is.